Your goals are too important to be drowned out by noise. Guard your peace and move forward. Success isn't about working harder. It's about eliminating what doesn't serve your purpose. What if you could stop wasting your time on things that don't matter? What if you could eliminate distractions, cut out negativity, and focus only on what moves you forward? How much further could you go if you stopped chasing approval and started building your self-respect? Imagine the power you'd feel if you took massive action instead of getting stuck in endless planning. What would your life look like if you could let go of gossip, drop fake friendships, and protect your mental energy? What if you could take full responsibility for your life, stop waiting for motivation, and build real discipline? These aren't just questions, they're possibilities. Your time is the most valuable thing you have, and right now it might be slipping away on things that don't serve you. It's time to stop wasting it. If you're ready to take control of your time, eliminate distractions, and focus on what truly matters, then completely now let's dive in. Number 1. Stop chasing approval and start building self-respect. Now, one of the greatest tragedies in life is spending your time trying to be someone for everyone. Chasing approval is exhausting. It drains your energy, your focus, and your identity. And most of the time, the people you're trying to impress aren't even paying attention. They're too busy chasing their own approval somewhere else. You've got to wake up to this truth. The more you try to be liked by everyone, the less of yourself you become. You start changing how you talk, how you act, even how you think, just to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. Now, why do we do this? It's because we want to feel accepted. We want to feel seen. That's human. But here's the problem. When your need for approval becomes your priority, your self-respect gets buried. You begin measuring your worth based on how many likes you get. How many people clap when you walk in the room? How many compliments you hear? But let me ask you this. What happens when the clapping stops? What happens when people don't give you the validation you're waiting for? Do you fall apart, or do you stand strong in who you are? Self-respect isn't built from the outside in. It's built from the inside out. It starts with how you see yourself when nobody's looking. It's how you talk to yourself when you make a mistake. It's the discipline you keep when no one is watching. And most importantly, it's the decision to honor your values even if it makes you unpopular. That's where real strength comes from. You have to stop giving people the remote control to your emotions, because as long as your happiness depends on someone else's opinion, you'll always be at their mercy. You'll feel good when they praise you, and you'll feel worthless when they don't. That's not freedom. That's a trap. And you're wasting precious time in it. Time you could be using to grow. Time you could be using to improve. Time you could be using to build something meaningful. Building self-respect starts with taking responsibility for your own life. It means looking in the mirror and deciding that you are enough, not because someone said so, but because you know it. It means choosing progress over perfection. It means speaking truth even when your voice shakes. It means showing up with integrity, not for applause, but because that's who you are. Stop waiting for the world to recognize you. Start recognizing yourself. You don't need a crowd to validate your worth. You need courage to accept your truth. If someone disrespects your boundaries, that's not your failure. That's their reflection. If someone doesn't value your presence, that doesn't reduce your value. Don't give them the power to define your self-image. Take that power back. Too many people spend their best years trying to be liked by people who don't even like themselves. They build their goals based on what others expect. They shape their lifestyle around other people's judgments. And in the end, they wake up feeling empty. Not because they weren't talented, but because they were never true to themselves. You want peace? You want power? Then stop playing small to make others comfortable. Stop saying yes when your heart is screaming no. Stop pretending to be someone else just to keep the peace. That kind of peace is fake. It robs you of your voice. It kills your confidence. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that isn't real. You owe yourself honesty. You owe yourself growth. You owe yourself respect. And respect isn't given to you. It's earned by you through your actions, through your choices, through how you show up every single day. Start choosing what aligns with your standards, not what impresses the crowd. Start walking away from places where you feel small. Start building a life that makes you proud even if nobody claps. I'm not saying ignore people. I'm saying stop depending on them to tell you who you are. Be kind, be humble, but be strong enough to walk alone if that's what it takes to stay true. You're not here to be everyone's favorite. You're here to live with purpose. And when you live with purpose, not everyone will understand you. Some will criticize you, others will doubt you, but that's okay. That's a sign you're on the right path. You're not bending anymore, you're standing. And that's what respect looks like. Every time you put yourself last to make others happy, you teach yourself that your needs don't matter. That's how your self-worth begins to erode. But when you speak up, when you hold your standards, when you protect your peace, you start rebuilding that worth brick by brick. And over time you become unshakable, not arrogant, not loud, just solid, grounded, at peace with who you are. That's what we're after here. Not approval, not applause, but peace of mind, confidence in silence, dignity in the dark, the kind of respect that stays even when the room is empty. That's when you know you've got it. That's when you stop chasing and start becoming. You can't build that by being liked. You build it by being consistent. You build it by being accountable. You build it by being real. This is your life. You don't need permission to live it on your terms. You just need the courage to stop pretending. You just need the discipline to stay grounded. And you need the wisdom to know that your time is far too precious to waste on seeking approval from people who don't walk in your shoes. If there's one thing you need to protect, it's your self-respect. Because when you have that, you don't chase, you attract. You attract better standards. You attract better people. You attract better energy. And more importantly, you attract the version of you that you were always meant to become. Keep choosing that. Keep building that. Keep showing up for that. Approval fades, but who you become by honoring your values, that lasts forever. Number 2, quit escaping problems and face them with real strength. Most people don't realize how much time they lose by running away from what needs to be handled. Avoiding problems doesn't make life easier. It makes it heavier. Because every time you ignore a problem, it doesn't disappear. It grows. It grows in silence. It grows in the background. And one day, it shows up bigger, louder, and harder to handle. You cannot afford to keep doing that to yourself. Life will never stop throwing challenges your way, but strength isn't found in perfect circumstances. It's built through direct, honest confrontation with what hurts, with what's uncomfortable, with what's inconvenient. Facing problems doesn't mean you enjoy them. It means you refuse to let them control you. It means you stop pretending you're fine when you're not. It means you stop distracting yourself with things that don't matter, just to avoid what does. Watching hours of videos, oversleeping, overeating, spending money you don't have, blaming people, waiting for someone else to rescue you. These are all ways we escape. And every second you spend escaping is a second you lose building your future. You were not born to run from pain. You were born to overcome it. You were born to look it in the eye and say, I will not be broken by this. That's the moment strength begins. That's the moment something shifts inside you. You stop feeling like a victim. You stop looking for someone else to fix it. You step into the reality that your life is your responsibility. No more hiding. No more waiting for things to change on their own. You are the change. Escaping problems gives short-term comfort and long-term regret. But facing problems gives short-term discomfort and long-term growth. You have to decide which life you want. Do you want the temporary relief of avoiding hard things? Or do you want the permanent power that comes from handling them? Because both paths cost you something. One costs your peace, your time, your potential. The other costs your effort, your patience, your courage. Only one of them leads to freedom. There is strength inside you that you haven't accessed because you've been avoiding what would bring it out. When you finally stop running and decide to deal with it, whatever it is, you discover that you are more capable than you thought. It doesn't matter how long the problem has existed. It doesn't matter how deep the pain runs. What matters is your willingness to start facing it today. No more excuses. No more delays. Your healing begins the moment you stop running. Real strength is quiet. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's in the daily choice to show up and work through the things you'd rather ignore. It's in telling the truth even when it's hard. It's in making decisions that align with your growth, not your comfort. Facing your problems is not a punishment. It's an act of self-respect. It's a signal to your mind that you are worth fighting for. You are worth healing. You are worth growing. When you face your problems, you learn things about yourself that escaping will never teach you. You learn where you've been weak, and you grow stronger. You learn where you've been dishonest, and you grow truthful. You learn where you've settled, and you begin to raise your standards. These lessons are not easy, but they are necessary. Because without them, you'll stay stuck. You'll keep living in the same patterns. You'll keep waking up with the same weight on your chest. And nothing changes until you do. It takes strength to sit in your own discomfort. It takes strength to admit your mistakes. It takes strength to ask for help when you need it. None of that is weakness. Denial is weakness. Avoidance is weakness. Pretending is weakness. But honesty, that's strength. Accountability, that's strength. Taking small steps even when you feel overwhelmed, that's real power. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start. Pick one problem, just one, and face it. Not all at once, not perfectly, but intentionally. Whether it's a relationship you've been avoiding, a financial mess you haven't addressed, a decision you've delayed for months, whatever it is, name it, face it, and begin. You don't overcome problems by ignoring them. You overcome them by confronting them directly, with clarity and commitment. Understand this, your future is being shaped by how you deal with your present. And if you keep avoiding the hard things now, you're building a weaker version of yourself later. Every time you face something hard, you gain experience. You gain emotional muscle. You become the kind of person who doesn't fold when life gets rough. That version of you can handle more. That version of you walks with dignity. That version of you is unstoppable, not because life is easy, but because you stopped being afraid of the difficult. No one builds a meaningful life by running away from responsibility. No one builds real confidence by hiding from challenges. And no one creates long-term peace by distracting themselves every time things get hard. It takes discipline to stay in the discomfort long enough to change. And it takes courage to believe that your effort is worth it. Because it is. You are worth the effort. You are worth the healing. You are worth the change. Start seeing problems as the path, not the obstacle. They are the process that reveals who you really are. Every struggle you face is an opportunity to build your mind, your character, your resolve. And once you learn to face them, you start to build momentum. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to move forward with intention. You stop fearing what's ahead, because you know you've already faced worse and made it through. The world doesn't need more people pretending they're okay. It needs more people willing to be real about what they're going through, and strong enough to do something about it. That's how you change your life. Not by hiding, not by waiting for the perfect time, but by facing what hurts and walking through it, with your head held high. You can choose to keep escaping and watch the same problems follow you year after year. Or you can decide that this is the moment you draw the line. This is the moment you say, I've had enough. I won't carry this weight anymore. I won't run anymore. I'll face what's mine to face. Not for anyone else, but because I deserve peace. I deserve freedom. I deserve a life I'm proud of. That begins the moment you stop escaping and step fully into the challenge with everything you've got.
Number 3. End endless planning and take massive action today. It's easy to get stuck in the comfort of planning. You sit down with a notebook, make a list, map out the steps, imagine the outcome, and convince yourself that you're making progress. But planning alone doesn't change your life. You don't grow from what you write down. You grow from what you do. The truth is, too many people are addicted to preparation because it feels safe. You feel like you're moving forward, but you're really just circling the same spot. And time keeps moving while you're standing still. There's nothing wrong with having a plan, but there is a problem when planning becomes the substitute for doing. You say you're waiting for the perfect moment, for the right opportunity, for more clarity. But none of that comes until you move.
Clarity comes through action. Opportunity reveals itself to those who are already in motion. The perfect moment is a lie. It's a trap that keeps you stuck in your head while life passes you by. Massive action doesn't mean chaos. It means urgency. It means getting serious about doing. Instead of just thinking, you already know what needs to be done. You've made the lists. You've done the research. You've talked about it. Now it's time to step into it. Even if it's messy, even if you're unsure, even if it's uncomfortable, because movement builds momentum, and momentum changes everything. People overestimate how much more they need to plan and underestimate how much action they need to take. They think another week of preparing will give them more confidence, but real confidence comes from proving to yourself that you can handle the work. It comes from showing up when it's hard. It comes from doing the uncomfortable thing and realizing you didn't break. Every step you take builds the strength you thought you needed before you started. You've waited long enough. You've thought it through 100 times. You've imagined every possible outcome, but thinking is not doing. Wishing is not working. Planning is not progress. You've got to start because action solves what planning can't. Action creates feedback. It gives you real experience. It helps you adjust based on reality, not theory. And most importantly, it builds belief. Every small win tells your mind that you're capable. When you move, even just a little, you start building trust with yourself. You stop doubting whether you're ready. You stop wondering if it'll work. You begin to focus on what you can control. The effort, that's the only thing that truly belongs to you. Not the outcome, not other people's reactions, just your willingness to act. That's where your power lives. Endless planning is often just fear in disguise. It's fear dressed up in productivity. You say you're being responsible, but deep down you're avoiding the risk of failure. You're afraid to fall short, so you stall. You're afraid to look foolish, so you wait. But that fear will never go away until you confront it. You don't conquer fear by thinking about it. You conquer fear by doing the thing you're afraid of. You face it head on. You take the step, no matter how small, and you prove to yourself that fear doesn't have the final say. The people who move forward in life aren't always the smartest. They're not always the most talented. They're the ones who take action when others are still thinking about it. They build while others hesitate. They take risks while others wait for certainty. And because of that, they grow faster. They learn faster. They build more resilience. They don't need everything to be perfect. They just need the door to be open a little, and they walk through it. Massive action isn't about reckless movement. It's about committed execution. It's about putting your ideas to the test. You can have the best vision in the world, but until you move your feet, it's just a dream. You don't get results from thinking. You get results from doing. Take the step, make the call, start the workout, post the work, launch the product, submit the application. The longer you wait, the heavier it gets. And the only way to lighten the weight is to act. When you take action, you get stronger. Not just physically or financially, but mentally. You become the kind of person who trusts themselves to follow through. You begin to shape a new identity. One where excuses don't survive. One where hesitation is replaced by decision. And over time, that new identity begins to dominate the old one. You stop being the person who waits. You become the person who builds. You already have everything you need to start. Stop telling yourself that you need more time. Stop waiting for more motivation. Motivation isn't the starting point. It's the byproduct of action. You don't wait to feel ready. You get ready by beginning. Start where you are. Use what you have. Take the first step, even if it's small, and then take the next one. Because one small action done with commitment beats 1,000 big ideas stuck in your head. There is power in motion, power in moving forward even without all the answers. Because life rewards action, not intentions, not potential, not plans. Results come to those who execute, who fall, who learn, who try again. That's where growth lives. That's where strength is built. Not in the thinking, but in the doing. You can read every book. You can attend every seminar. You can journal for hours. But if you don't act, You stay exactly where you are. Action separates the dream.
Yeah, whoa.
And right now you have a choice. You can keep planning or you can step into your potential. You can keep preparing or you can start producing. The time you spend waiting is time you'll never get back. And nothing is promised tomorrow. Your window is now. Massive action isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing what matters most now. It's about picking the thing that moves you closer and starting there.
Yeah, whoa.
It's about having the discipline to follow through when it's hard.
Yeah, whoa.
You won't always feel like it, but action doesn't depend on feelings. It depends on commitment. Show up anyway. Push through the resistance. Keep moving forward, because every step you take builds a life that matters. Every choice to act becomes a brick in the foundation of your future.
Number 4. Let go of gossip and focus on your mission. You cannot afford to waste your energy on things that add no value to your life. Gossip is one of the quickest ways to drift off course. It may feel harmless in the moment, maybe even entertaining, but it costs you something real. Every minute you spend talking about someone else's life is a minute stolen from building your own. You were not designed to be a spectator in other people's stories. You were designed to write your own. There's a mission in you, something you're supposed to create, build, improve, or contribute to. But that mission needs your full attention. It needs your discipline. It needs your focus. And gossip pulls your eyes off the goal. It makes you small. It shrinks your thinking. It distracts you with opinions, rumors, and negativity that were never meant to occupy your mind in the first place. Every time you get caught up in who said what, or who did what, you drift further away from who you could be. You don't need to know what everyone else is doing. You don't need to keep up with what someone said behind your back. You don't need to insert yourself into drama that doesn't move your life forward. Let people talk. Let people have their opinions. You have a mission to build. You have skills to sharpen. You have goals to chase. Time is short, and gossip is a thief. Gossip robs you of peace. It poisons your thinking. It creates division. It trains your mind to look outward in judgment instead of inward in responsibility. And when you get used to pointing fingers, you forget to raise your own standards. That's how people lose progress. That's how they slow down their growth. Not because they're not talented, but because they get caught up in distractions that don't matter. You don't rise by tearing others down. You rise by lifting your own effort. You rise by elevating your mindset. You rise by choosing integrity over popularity. And when you let go of gossip, you free up space in your life for something better. You free up space for focus, for creativity, for real connection, for progress that lasts. Your mind is a powerful tool. Don't fill it with noise that keeps you stagnant. People who gossip are not living with purpose. They are bored. They are insecure. They are looking for control in all the wrong places. And if you let yourself get pulled into that energy, you become like them. You become reactive. You become distracted. You become less of yourself. But when you decide to rise above it, you separate yourself. You make a statement with your actions that says, I'm here for something bigger. Silence is powerful. Choosing not to respond is powerful. Walking away from pointless talk is a sign of strength. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you understand your value. It means you don't need to defend yourself with words. Your work defends you. Your results speak louder than gossip ever could. Your commitment to your mission becomes your reputation. Focus is rare, and anything rare is valuable. If you can train yourself to stay focused in a world full of distractions, you gain an edge. While others are caught up in meaningless conversations, you're building, you're improving, you're moving. And over time, that consistency creates separation. That consistency creates results. That consistency turns your mission into something real, something visible, something that can't be denied. No one ever reached greatness by staying tangled in other people's opinions. No one ever built a meaningful legacy by spending hours analyzing other people's mistakes. If you want to live with impact, you have to protect your focus. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your conversations. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow?
Is this conversation aligned with where I'm going? Is this worthy of my time and energy? If the answer is no, walk away. The discipline to let go of gossip is not about pretending to be better than others. It's about being better than your past self. It's about recognizing the traps that used to hold you back and choosing not to fall into them anymore. It's about knowing that your attention is a resource. And every time you give it to the wrong thing, you take it away from the right thing. Your mission deserves your best. Not your leftovers. Not your distractions. Your best. Stay grounded in your values. Let your character speak for itself. You don't need to correct every lie. You don't need to respond to every insult. Let them talk. Let them waste their energy. While they talk, you build. While they spread drama, you stay consistent. And soon enough, the difference in results becomes impossible to ignore. They will see it. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. Your mission is too important to share space with gossip. Your goals are too meaningful to slow down for opinions. You are here to make a difference, not to fit in with every crowd. Choose the path that leads to growth, not noise. Choose the mindset that leads to strength, not drama. Your future is not built in the comments section. It's built in the quiet work, in the disciplined effort, in the moments you choose purpose over popularity. Start building habits that protect your focus. Surround yourself with people who speak life, not judgment. Spend time in conversations that elevate your vision, not shrink it. Be the kind of person who walks into a room and lifts the standard, not by preaching, but by example. Show what it means to be focused. Show what it means to be committed. Show what it looks like to stay in your lane and move forward with intention. Letting go of gossip doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It means you choose higher ground. It means you set boundaries. It means you take control of the energy you allow into your space. You don't need to fix everyone else's mindset. Just protect yours. Just stay clear. Just stay sharp. And the people who are ready to grow will follow your lead. You don't owe anyone your attention. You don't owe anyone your time, unless it's aligned with your growth. Stay humble. Stay driven. Stay focused. And when distractions show up, as they always will, remind yourself, this is not my path. I know what I'm building. I know who I'm becoming. And I won't trade that for anything temporary. Your mission is calling. Don't answer to anything else.
Number 5. Cut fake friendships and protect your mental energy. You owe it to yourself to take a good, honest look at the people around you. Not everyone who smiles at you is for you. Not everyone who spends time with you truly wants the best for you. Some people stay close, not because they believe in you, but because they fear your growth. They fear your strength. They fear that one day you'll outgrow their comfort zone. And sometimes the hardest but most freeing decision you will ever make is to walk away from those who pretend to care, but only drain your spirit. Fake friendships are quiet destroyers. They don't always show their true colors right away. They come masked in politeness, in shared memories, in shallow loyalty. But over time, you start to feel it. The tension, the weight, the way they don't clap when you win, the way they vanish when life gets hard, the way they only show up when they need something. You feel the shift in your gut. And that gut is rarely wrong. It's your signal. It's your internal alarm telling you something's off. Protecting your mental energy is not selfish. It's necessary. Your peace is a resource, and it is too valuable to be wasted on people who don't respect it. Every fake friend you keep around becomes a distraction. They interrupt your focus. They lower your standards. They make you question your worth. Over time, that emotional drain becomes mental fatigue. You lose clarity. You lose drive. You start to shrink your own potential just to keep the peace with people who wouldn't do the same for you. Cutting fake friendships doesn't mean you hate anyone. It means you love yourself enough to stop allowing harmful energy into your life. It means you choose truth over comfort. It means you recognize when loyalty is one-sided. Real friendship uplifts. It strengthens. It sharpens you. And if someone constantly leaves you feeling used, doubted, or undervalued, that's not friendship. That's a weight you don't need to carry. You are not responsible for fixing people who don't want to change. You are not required to keep anyone in your life out of guilt. Just because someone was in your past doesn't mean they belong in your future. Growth demands new environments. It demands clear boundaries. It demands honesty with yourself about who is helping you rise and who is silently pulling you down. That decision might feel lonely at first, but that loneliness is better than being surrounded by fake support. Some people only cheer for you when you're down because your struggle makes them feel better about their own life. When you start rising, they get quiet. They stop calling. They start making little comments that undermine your progress. You don't need to argue with them. You don't need to beg them to understand. You just need to protect your space. You just need to stop giving your energy to people who have already shown you they're not in your corner. Mental energy is fragile. It's not infinite, and you can't afford to waste it explaining yourself to people who refuse to listen. You can't waste it defending your dreams to people who only want to see you stuck. That energy is better used building your goals, strengthening your habits, and surrounding yourself with people who believe in your mission without needing proof. You deserve to be around people who speak life into you, not drain the life from you. If you constantly feel anxious around someone, pay attention. If your confidence drops every time they're in the room, that's not normal. If your excitement turns into hesitation because you know they'll mock your ideas or downplay your efforts, that's not friendship. That's emotional sabotage. And it's not your job to keep entertaining it. Life is already challenging enough. The journey to becoming your best self is already full of obstacles. The last thing you need is someone by your side who's secretly hoping you fail. You deserve a circle that feeds your mind with encouragement, your heart with support, and your future with alignment. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you choose wisely. It happens when you stop settling for company that only exists out of habit. Cutting fake friendships is not about burning bridges with everyone you disagree with. It's about identifying the patterns that keep you stuck. It's about recognizing who adds peace and who creates chaos. It's about facing the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Some people are not bad. They're just not good for your path. And keeping them around out of fear, guilt, or obligation only delays the growth you're meant to experience. There's power in being selective. Power in choosing silence over forced conversations. Power in leaving the table when respect is no longer served. You are not obligated to shrink your light so others feel comfortable. You don't have to keep pretending everything's fine when deep down you know it's not. Listen to that inner pull. Trust that voice inside that says you deserve better, because you do. Your future needs people who push you forward. People who remind you of your worth. People who aren't threatened by your success but inspired by it. And those kinds of connections only come when you clear the space. Fake friendships are like weeds. They choke out your growth if you don't remove them. You can't plant new seeds in a garden full of toxins. You have to make room for better soil. Make the decision to guard your energy like it matters, because it does. It determines your mood. It affects your motivation. It shapes your perspective. And no dream can thrive in a mind full of negativity and doubt. You need clarity. You need strength. You need people who bring peace, not pressure. It's not about how long you've known someone. It's about how they make you feel when you're around them. You don't need a crowd. You need alignment. A few honest, solid, and supportive people are more valuable than 100 shallow connections. Quality over quantity. Always. And if that means walking alone for a while, walk with purpose. Walk with confidence. Walk knowing that the space you're clearing today will be filled with something far more meaningful tomorrow. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much. You're just asking for what's right. Respect loyalty, truth, and if someone can't give you that, set them free. Wish them well and move on. Let your life speak for itself. Let your peace be your answer. Let your growth be your boundary. You are responsible for protecting your energy, because no one else will do it for you. You decide who gets access. You decide who gets close. And when you start acting like your time and your mind are valuable, the right people will show up. People who don't drain you. People who don't compete with you. People who walk beside you with honesty, care, and purpose.
The strength to cut fake friendships is not built in anger. It's built in awareness. It's built in quiet moments of realization, in the decision to stop explaining yourself, in the courage to let go of what no longer fits. And once you let go, don't go back. Don't second guess. Don't reopen doors that led you to pain. Move forward, stronger, clearer, lighter. Your peace depends on it.
Number 6. Avoid blaming others and own your life fully. The day your life begins to truly change is the day you decide to take full responsibility for it. Not halfway. Not when it's easy. Fully. That means no more blaming your parents, your past, your boss, your friends, or your circumstances. It means waking up and saying, "This is my life, and I am in charge of what happens next." That level of ownership is not about guilt or shame. It's about strength. It's about taking control and moving forward with clarity and purpose. Blaming others might give you temporary relief. It might make you feel like it's not your fault that things haven't worked out yet. But that relief is short-lived. Deep down, you know something's missing. Because when you keep pointing fingers, your energy stays focused on what went wrong instead of what you can do next. You stay stuck in the same cycle, repeating the same story, looking for someone else to fix what only you can. Taking ownership of your life is not easy. It means accepting that while you didn't choose everything that happened to you, you are responsible for how you respond. That's a hard truth, but it's a liberating one. You can't change the past, but you can control what you do from here. That power is in your hands, not someone else's. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you a better life. It has to come from you. When you blame others, you give them control over your emotions. You tie your peace to their choices. You allow their behavior to define your future. But when you take responsibility, you take that power back. You stop waiting for apologies or explanations. You stop expecting the world to change. Instead, you look in the mirror and decide to be the one who changes. That doesn't mean you excuse the pain others caused you. It means you stop letting it define your identity. It means you stop using it as a reason to stay where you are. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become despite it. Owning your life means rising above the blame and choosing growth, even when it hurts. There will always be people who try to shift their burdens onto you. People who avoid responsibility and try to drag others down with them. But you don't have to join them. You don't have to keep repeating the story of who did you wrong. That story doesn't serve you. It doesn't heal you. It only delays the work you need to do for yourself. When you choose responsibility, you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What can I do with what I have?" That shift in thinking will take you further than any excuse ever could. It builds resilience. It builds wisdom. It builds character. And character is what carries you through the seasons of doubt, fear, and failure. Some people waste years waiting for everything around them to be perfect before they start taking action. They think, if only my parents had been different. If only I had more support. If only the world was fairer. But those thoughts trap you. They keep you locked in a version of life where nothing changes because you believe nothing can. The truth is, your future doesn't depend on what others did. It depends on what you're willing to do now. Every time you take responsibility, you grow stronger. Every time you stop blaming, you become wiser. Every time you decide to own your choices, your words, your actions, you move closer to the person you're meant to be. That kind of strength is quiet. It doesn't need validation. It comes from knowing that your life is yours to lead, not anyone else's. It's easy to find reasons not to change. It's easy to stay in a loop of frustration and resentment. But easy doesn't build greatness. Easy doesn't create transformation. You have to be willing to face the discomfort that comes with responsibility. You have to look at your habits, your decisions, your patterns, and ask yourself, am I doing my part? Not someone else's part. Your part. Owning your life fully means choosing integrity. It means keeping your word to yourself. It means following through even when motivation fades. It means being honest about your weaknesses and doing something about them, instead of blaming someone else for exposing them. That's real maturity. That's real progress. People will always have opinions.
They'll criticize, judge, misunderstand. But your power lies in staying committed to your path regardless. You don't need everyone to understand. You just need to keep showing up for yourself. You just need to stay accountable to your goals, your values, your purpose. You might have been hurt. You might have been let down. But none of that has to be the end of your story. You get to write the next chapter. You get to decide what happens now. And when you stop blaming others, you finally get to see what you're capable of. You start to realize how much you've been giving away your strength, and you begin to reclaim it, piece by piece. You don't need anyone's permission to grow. You don't need to wait until life is perfect to begin. All you need is the courage to say, "This is on me, and I'm going to do something about it." That moment of decision, real deep internal decision, is the start of transformation. You don't rise by blaming, you rise by taking action. You rise by becoming who you were always meant to be. You have to stop telling yourself that someone else's actions are the reason you can't move forward. That belief keeps you in a cage, and the door to that cage is unlocked. You just have to walk through it. You just have to decide that your future matters more than your excuses, that your vision matters more than your wounds, that your goals matter more than your comfort. Blame is a distraction. It keeps your mind occupied with the past, instead of focused on progress. It steals your time, your energy, your focus. And the truth is, no one is coming to live your life for you. It's on you. Every day you spend blaming others is a day you could have spent building something meaningful, building something real, building something you can be proud of. The power to change is already inside you. The discipline to shift your mindset, the strength to break old cycles, the clarity to build new ones. It's all within you. But you can't access any of it if you keep handing your power to people who don't even think about you anymore. Own your story, own your steps, own your responsibility to yourself. That is where real growth begins. That is where change starts. Not out there but in here. In the moment you decide that your life is too important to waste on blame, that your future is too valuable to leave in someone else's hands, that your time is too precious to spend telling stories of what others should have done differently. Take it back. Own it all. The good, the bad, the in-between. Not because everything was your fault, but because everything going forward is your responsibility. That mindset will carry you further than anything else. That's how you rise. That's how you lead. That's how you take control of your life in a world that constantly tries to make you forget who you are.
Number 7. Stop waiting for motivation and build real discipline. If you keep waiting for motivation to strike, you'll spend your life waiting. You'll wake up each day hoping that something outside of you will light a fire within. But it won't. That fire has to be built by your own hands. It has to be protected by your own decisions. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, you must stop relying on feelings and start depending on commitment. Motivation feels good, yes, but it's unreliable. It comes and goes. Sometimes it shows up, and sometimes it doesn't. But discipline stays when motivation disappears. The people who make real progress in life aren't the ones who feel inspired every morning. They are the ones who show up, no matter how they feel. They understand that discipline isn't something you wait for. It's something you train. It's something you build one choice at a time. When the alarm rings, you get up. When it's time to work, you begin. When it gets hard, you keep going. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Waiting for motivation is a trap. It sounds good. It feels justifiable. You say, "I'll start when I feel ready. I'll push myself when I'm in the mood. I'll change my habits when life calms down." But days pass, weeks pass, years pass, and nothing changes. Not because you can't, but because you're still hoping for a spark that was never meant to carry you. That spark might help you begin, but it will never help you finish. Discipline is what builds your future. It's the tool that makes everything else possible. Without it, talent is wasted. Without it, potential goes unused. Without it, dreams remain dreams. With discipline, you can overcome resistance. You can fight through fatigue. You can outlast fear.
And you can build a life that's not just good on paper, but strong in reality. Think about the life you want. The goals you've been thinking about for months or even years. Ask yourself, why haven't they become real yet? In most cases, it's not because you lack motivation. It's because you haven't made discipline. Your foundation, you haven't yet drawn a line and said, no matter what, I will show up. That moment, when you stop looking for the perfect feeling and start focusing on the next right step, that's when progress begins. Discipline doesn't require talent. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for permission. It only needs consistency. And the best part, the more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind will fight back, your body will resist, but over time, your identity shifts. You stop saying, I'm someone who tries, and you start becoming someone who does *. You become dependable, not to others, to yourself. That is one of the most powerful changes you can make, becoming someone who keeps promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and then follow through, you build self-trust. You start believing that you can rely on your own word. That belief gives you strength on the days when nothing else does. Don't let your feelings decide your future. Feelings are temporary. They shift with the weather, with sleep, with other people's words. You can't build a solid life on something so unstable. But action, that's stable. That's measurable. You either showed up or you didn't. You either trained or you didn't. You either finished or you didn't. It's simple. And that simplicity is what makes discipline so effective. You don't have to take massive steps overnight. You just have to start. One decision, one action, one habit, and then repeat. Make your bed, go for the run, finish the task, turn off the distraction. Small wins add up fast when they are rooted in discipline. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to feel unstoppable. You just need to stop making excuses and begin. The world respects results, not intentions, not potential, not plans. Results. And results come from discipline, not motivation. If you want to be respected by others, by yourself, build the kind of life where results speak louder than your explanations, where your actions are louder than your desires. You'll never be more motivated than the person who is already doing the work, and that person becomes unstoppable, not because they always feel ready, but because they've built the strength to do the hard things consistently. That's the mindset you need. Not a mindset of waiting, a mindset of doing. You'll be tempted to take the easier route, to scroll, to skip, to say I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow won't serve you if you don't act today. Discipline lives in the now, in this hour, in this moment. This is where you shape your habits. This is where you build your legacy, not later. Now there's no secret, no magic trick. It's effort. It's daily action. It's sticking with what you started when you said you would. It's choosing structure over chaos, focus over distraction, grit over comfort. You train it like a muscle. You feel the resistance, and you push through anyway. You don't let your past determine your pace. You move forward because that's the only way to grow. When you stop relying on motivation, you become consistent. When you stop needing a feeling to act, you become effective. When you stop waiting and start building, you step into a different level of living. One where excuses fade and standards rise. One where your calendar reflects your commitment, not just your hopes. Discipline gives you clarity. You stop wondering what to do next. You stop hesitating. You start following through. It removes the noise. It quiets the doubts. You no longer need to convince yourself every day to keep going. You just go. Because that's who you are now. Someone who doesn't need to be pushed. Someone who shows up because that's what success requires. You don't need more time. You need more commitment. You don't need more inspiration. You need more discipline. Every day is a test. Every morning is a new chance. Choose effort. Choose consistency. Choose discipline. Not for the applause. Not for approval. But because you know who you're becoming. Make the decision once. Then act like it every day. That's how you build a life you don't need to escape from. That's how you break cycles and create change. That's how you rise. Not by waiting, but by choosing discipline when everything else tells you to give up. Number 8. Drop entertainment addiction and grow your true purpose. Entertainment is constantly at our fingertips, offering an endless stream of content that is designed to grab our attention. The problem is, when you spend all your time binge-watching shows, scrolling through social media, or endlessly playing games, you lose touch with something much more important: your purpose. Entertainment isn't inherently bad, but when it takes up too much of your time, it can rob you of the chance to live a fulfilling life. It can rob you of the chance to pursue your true potential and build the kind of future you want. If you're not careful, entertainment can become a drug. It starts as a way to relax, but over time, it becomes something you rely on to avoid facing the deeper issues in your life. You binge-watch Netflix to forget your worries. You scroll through Instagram to escape your reality. You get lost in a game to avoid the uncomfortable feelings that arise when you think about your future. This constant consumption of entertainment is not helping you. It's numbing you. It's keeping you stuck. And worst of all, it's preventing you from discovering what truly matters to you. Your true purpose is not found in front of a screen. It's not found in the latest viral video, the newest season of a show, or the next trending game. Your true purpose is found in the work you do every single day. It's found in the commitment to your goals, the dedication to your dreams, and the focus you place on your growth. When you stop looking to entertainment as a way to fill the gaps in your life, you open up space for something far more powerful: personal growth. The truth is, when you spend too much time on entertainment, you create a barrier between yourself and your true purpose. Every hour you spend mindlessly scrolling or watching, you're not spending time working on your passions, honing your skills, or making progress toward your goals. The more time you waste in these distractions, the further away you get from the life you want to create. It's not just about wasting time. It's about actively avoiding what matters most. Imagine if you used the time you currently spend on entertainment to work on something that truly fuels you. What if you dedicated an hour a day to building a skill that could change your life? What if you spent that time writing, creating, learning, or growing your business? What if instead of seeking entertainment to numb your mind, you sought growth that would challenge and inspire you? The reality is that entertainment doesn't create lasting satisfaction. It offers momentary pleasure, but it doesn't fulfill the deeper needs we have as human beings. Your true purpose, on the other hand, has the power to change your life. It has the power to fill you with a sense of fulfillment that no TV show, movie, or video game ever could. But you can't discover it if you're constantly escaping into distractions. So how do you break free from the addiction to entertainment? The first step is awareness. Recognize the impact that entertainment is having on your life. Pay attention to the time you're spending, the way it makes you feel, and the way it keeps you stuck. Are you using entertainment to avoid the discomfort of taking action? Are you using it as a way to procrastinate on the things that matter most? If the answer is yes, then it's time to make a change. The second step is intentionality. Start becoming more intentional with your time. Choose to use the hours that are currently spent on mindless entertainment to work on your goals. Make the conscious decision to invest in your growth, rather than wasting your energy on fleeting distractions. Set clear boundaries around the time you spend on entertainment. Schedule time for it, but don't let it consume your life. You control the narrative of your day, not the TV, not your phone, not the endless scroll. The third step is to replace the habit. When you cut out entertainment, you create a void. It's essential to fill that void with something purposeful. Instead of reaching for your phone or turning on the TV, pick up a book that inspires you. Write in a journal. Work on your side project. Invest in your personal growth in ways that will move you forward. The more you replace mindless entertainment with intentional action, the stronger your sense of purpose will become. This doesn't mean you have to completely eliminate entertainment from your life. The goal isn't to be a robot who works non-stop with no downtime. The goal is to be in control. Entertainment can be a healthy part of your life if it's used mindfully and in moderation. But when it takes over, when it becomes a distraction from what truly matters, it's time to reassess. The key is balance. Enjoy your entertainment, but don't let it define your life. There's another side effect of cutting back on entertainment. You'll start to feel more alive. When you stop hiding behind distractions, you'll face the challenges and discomfort that come with pursuing a meaningful life. It's not always easy. It takes hard work, focus, and discipline. But the rewards are worth it. You'll start to feel a deeper sense of accomplishment. You'll realize that the time and energy you once wasted is now being invested into building something real, something that brings you joy, growth, and fulfillment. Once you start to experience the power of working toward your true purpose, you won't want to go back to the endless cycle of entertainment. You'll see how much more rewarding it is to spend your time on activities that align with your values and goals. You'll begin to realize that the satisfaction you get from achieving something meaningful is far more lasting than any momentary pleasure that entertainment provides. In the end, the choice is yours. You can continue down the path of distraction and entertainment addiction, or you can make the decision to change. You can choose to focus on your true purpose, to dedicate your time and energy to something that truly matters. The longer you wait, the more you delay the life you're capable of living. But if you choose to take action today, if you choose to drop the entertainment addiction, you'll unlock the door to your true potential. You'll finally begin to live a life that is aligned with who you truly are and what you truly want. It's not easy. It won't happen overnight. But every step you take toward breaking free from entertainment addiction is a step toward a more fulfilling, meaningful life. A life that is defined by your true purpose, not by the latest viral video or trending show.
Number 9. Reject negative thinking and rewire your daily mindset. You have the power to choose how you see the world. Yet many people allow negative thinking to dominate their lives without even realizing it. They let negative thoughts control their actions, reactions, and their ability to see opportunities. The truth is, negative thinking is a habit, a pattern that can be broken. And once you break that pattern, your life will transform in ways you can't even imagine. The first step in rejecting negative thinking is acknowledging that it's happening. If you don't recognize the negative thoughts running through your mind, you can't change them. Most people walk around with a constant stream of self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs. They think, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this. These thoughts can easily become part of who you are if you don't challenge them. But the reality is, these thoughts don't define you. They're just thoughts, and you have the power to replace them. Once you acknowledge these negative thoughts, you need to understand where they come from. Often, negative thinking is rooted in past experiences, fears, or insecurities. Maybe you've failed before, so you fear that you will fail again. Or maybe someone in your life told you that you weren't good enough, and now that thought has taken root. But these past experiences don't have to dictate your future. The first step to changing your mindset is understanding that your past doesn't have to define your future. The mistakes you've made or the failures you've experienced are simply stepping stones on the path to success. The next step is to stop feeding negative thoughts. Every time you think negatively about yourself or your situation, you give that thought power. You reinforce it and make it stronger. But every time you replace that thought with a positive one, you weaken the negative thought. It's a process of rewiring your brain. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, replace it with I am capable and strong. Instead of thinking, I'll never succeed, replace it with I will find a way. Replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations isn't just about saying things to make yourself feel better. It's about training your brain to focus on what's possible, not what's holding you back. But this doesn't happen overnight. Rewiring your brain takes time and consistency. Just like any habit, it requires daily practice. Each day you must choose to reject the negative and embrace the positive. This isn't something that will happen in a week or even a month. But over time, as you consistently feed your mind with positive thoughts and affirmations, your mindset will begin to shift. You'll start to notice that you respond differently to challenges. You'll notice that your perspective on life changes. You'll start to feel more confident, more capable, and more motivated to take on whatever comes your way. In addition to replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, it's also important to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with have a significant impact on your mindset. If you're constantly around negative, pessimistic people,
It's easy to fall into the same patterns of thinking. But when you surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, it becomes easier to stay positive and motivated. You begin to see that there are people who believe in possibilities, people who see challenges as opportunities for growth, not obstacles. Along with surrounding yourself with positivity, it's crucial to engage in practices that nurture your mind and spirit. Meditation, journaling, and gratitude practices are all powerful tools for rewiring your mindset. These practices allow you to connect with your inner self, calm your mind, and shift your focus toward what you're grateful for, rather than what you're lacking. When you focus on the positives in your life, you begin to attract more of them. Your mindset shifts from one of scarcity and fear to one of abundance and possibility. Another important part of rejecting negative thinking is learning to let go of perfectionism. Many people are paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes. They think that if they don't do everything perfectly, they'll fail. But the truth is, perfectionism is just another form of negative thinking. It's a belief that you're not good enough unless everything is flawless. The reality is, no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you handle those mistakes that matters. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your worth, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Each mistake is a lesson that brings you one step closer to success. To truly reject negative thinking, you must also embrace the idea that you are in control of your life. You are not a victim of your circumstances, your past, or the people around you. You have the power to change your mindset and your reality. It's up to you to take control of your thoughts and your actions. Don't let your mind be the thing that holds you back. Don't let fear or doubt dictate your decisions. Take charge of your thoughts and you'll take charge of your life. It's also important to be patient with yourself. Changing your mindset is not easy, and it won't happen all at once. You will slip back into negative thinking from time to time. That's normal. The key is not to beat yourself up when it happens, but to catch yourself and refocus on the positive. Be gentle with yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every step you take toward a more positive mindset is a step toward a better life. As you continue to reject negative thinking and rewire your daily mindset, you'll start to see the results in every area of your life. Your relationships will improve because you'll approach them with a more positive outlook. Your work will improve because you'll be more focused, motivated, and resilient. Your health will improve because you'll feel more confident in your ability to take care of yourself. Your life will improve because you'll be living from a place of empowerment rather than fear. By rejecting negative thinking and rewiring your mindset, you're not just changing the way you think, you're changing the way you live. You're stepping into your full potential. You're choosing to take control of your thoughts, your actions, and your future. You're choosing to embrace a life that is not defined by fear, doubt, or negativity, but by possibility, opportunity, and growth. This shift in mindset is the key to unlocking the life you've always wanted. Number 10. Eliminate pointless arguments and guard your inner peace. There will always be people who want to pull you into unnecessary conflicts. They want to argue about trivial things, engage in debates that don't matter, or drag you into drama that serves no purpose. But the truth is, these arguments take away from your life. They steal your energy, drain your mental strength, and keep you stuck in negativity. Most importantly, they rob you of your inner peace. Your inner peace is one of the most valuable things you have. Without it, you can't think clearly. You can't focus on what matters, and you can't live your best life. Every time you engage in a pointless argument, you allow others to disturb that peace. But it's time to make a decision. A decision to stop letting these arguments control your life. You have the power to eliminate them. You don't have to fight over things that don't matter. Think about the last argument you had. Was it worth your time? Was it worth your peace? Chances are, the answer is no. Most arguments don't lead to meaningful outcomes. They don't help you grow. They don't build relationships. And they don't bring you closer to your goals. Instead, they create tension, they waste energy, and they leave you feeling drained. Yet, we often get caught up in these conflicts because we feel the need to be right, or because we're trying to prove a point. But winning a petty argument is never worth losing your peace. The key to eliminating pointless arguments is learning to choose your battles wisely. Not every disagreement needs to be turned into an argument. You don't need to engage in every confrontation that comes your way. There are times when it's better to simply walk away. If the situation doesn't serve your growth, if it doesn't align with your values, or if it won't bring you closer to your purpose, don't engage. Protect your peace by choosing not to get involved in conflicts that will not add value to your life. It's important to recognize that some arguments are just distractions. They are designed to pull your focus away from what truly matters. They want to keep you caught up in things that have no lasting impact, keeping you from putting your energy into what truly deserves your attention. Ask yourself, is this worth my time? Is this conversation going to help me become a better version of myself? Is this argument going to move me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then walk away. Don't waste your time arguing about things that don't matter. One of the most important lessons to learn is that you can't control other people's behavior. People will try to engage you in arguments. They will try to provoke you, but you have the choice to not respond. Don't let someone else's negativity take away your peace. When someone tries to argue with you, you can choose to either respond in kind or walk away with dignity. The power is in your hands. Every time you choose to guard your peace and disengage from pointless arguments, you regain control of your life. Guarding your peace is also about being mindful of how much you let external circumstances affect you. There will always be things in life that you can't control. Traffic, people's opinions, things that go wrong. But how you react to these situations is what truly matters. The less you allow these things to upset you, the more peaceful your life will become. You can't change the fact that someone cut you off in traffic, but you can change your reaction to it. You can choose not to let it ruin your day. The practice of guarding your peace also requires emotional maturity. It's easy to get caught up in an argument when you're feeling angry or upset, but reacting out of emotion only makes things worse. Instead, take a moment to breathe. Center yourself and consider whether the argument is worth your time. Often the best response is no response at all. By refusing to get caught up in drama, you maintain control over your emotional state. You stop giving away your power to someone else's behavior. Another key to eliminating pointless arguments is to focus on what you can control: your own behavior. You can't control how others act or how they respond to you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to be calm, you can choose to listen, and you can choose to act with integrity. When you respond with composure and wisdom, you set the tone for the conversation. You can lead by example, showing others that you won't be drawn into negativity. It's also important to realize that your energy is limited. Every argument you engage in drains you. Every emotional reaction you give away takes away from your peace. By eliminating pointless arguments, you conserve your energy and focus on the things that matter most. You begin to recognize that your time is better spent on your goals, on your relationships, and on your growth. Protecting your peace means protecting your time, your energy, and your mental health. When you refuse to waste time on arguments, you create more space for the things that truly add value to your life. You also need to be intentional about your relationships. Surround yourself with people who respect your peace and who are committed to meaningful conversations. It's not about avoiding disagreements, but about engaging in productive discussions that lead to growth, understanding, and solutions. Choose relationships where the focus is on mutual respect and shared goals, not on petty arguments and unnecessary conflicts. When you eliminate pointless arguments, you become more focused and more clear about your own purpose. You stop allowing distractions to steal your energy, and you start focusing on the things that truly matter. This focus allows you to make real progress in your life, to move toward your goals with confidence, and to cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. Guarding your peace doesn't mean avoiding challenges or difficult conversations. It means protecting your mental and emotional energy from things that are not aligned with your values and your purpose. It means choosing to respond with wisdom, to walk away when necessary, and to preserve your inner calm in the face of life's chaos. You have the power to protect your peace. You have the ability to eliminate the arguments, distractions, and negativity that drain you. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You simply need to guard your peace, choose your battles, and focus on what truly matters. When you do this, you create the space for a life filled with purpose, joy, and fulfillment. Your energy is your most valuable resource, and you can choose how to use it. Don't let anyone or anything take it away from you.